Hello and welcome back to Off the Post. In today's video we'll be discussing Dele Alli potentially retiring at the age of 29, but before that, as always, please like, comment, subscribe. It's very much appreciated and it will go a long way in helping me build a small community on my channel. We've recently just hit 146 subscribers, and if we can get 150, I'd be absolutely mind blown. Okay, so early on in my YouTube career, if you like, and it'll be absolutely amazing. I just want to say a massive thank you for all you guys showing your support on my videos, the likes and the comments, showing your support on social media as well. It definitely doesn't go unnoticed, and yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you. But anyways, let's get straight into the video, shall we? Okay, when you speak about Dele Alli breaking through at MK Dons, he was absolutely brilliant, wasn't he? He was such a talented player. You know, he had the freedom of the pitch to go and express himself. You know, there was attacking capabilities of, you know, running with the ball, dribbling past players, scoring goals, assisting people as well. For me, when you speak about Dele Alli, I think was a better goal scorer than an assister. I don't know what it was, but he was scoring bags of goals in League One at those times, and that's why he got his big money move to Tottenham Hotspur. And when he signed, right, he could have gone one of two ways. You know, he could have, you know, jumped up 2 divisions and sort of struggled a few seasons in, but he just hit the ground running straight away, didn't he? He hit the ground running from day one, and he didn't look back, Dele Alli. He proved straight away why he was such an incredible talent, breaking through at England at that time. Because when you think about him, right, he was fantastic at Tottenham. I remember one goal in particular, right, against Crystal Palace. I'm pretty sure it was Crystal Palace, where he was outside the box. He lifted the ball up in the air, and he scored like a half volley. But his back was the goal, so he had to turn mid-air and strike the ball, and he scored. He still scored. For me, Dele Alli was absolutely brilliant at those times. When you think about someone like Jude Bellingham now, he was Jude Bellingham before Jude Bellingham, wasn't he, Dele Alli? That's sort of his playing style comparison, I would like to say, in these days anyways. He probably hasn't gone on to hit the heights as a Jude Bellingham at such an early age as he has done. Obviously, playing for Real Madrid is fantastic, but Tottenham Hotspur, oh my God. This guy was touted to be the next best thing, wasn't he, Dele Alli? And it's a real crying shame that is you know, his footballing career didn't sort of play out that way. Don't get me wrong, his first 2 years at Tottenham under Pochettino was fantastic. His link up with Harry Kane, his link up with Heung-min Son. Who else did he have there? Moussa Dembele, all these other types of players. He was brilliant. He was feeding off these main strikers. He was getting goals for fun. He was assisting players as well. In 194 appearances in the Premier League, right, Dele Alli scored 51 goals and got 35 assists. So from anybody's standards, that is fantastic. And don't get me wrong, it's just a crying shame that his sort of career's petered out and it's not really hit the heights as everybody was touting him to be, because when he was breaking through at Tottenham under those first like 2 or 3 seasons, he really thought he could have gone on to be one of the world's best players in that attacking midfielder position. But for whatever reason, you know, it's been reported where he sort of had a few off the pitch problems and whatnot, and he sort of couldn't cope with you know, being on the field at certain times of his playing career and whatnot. It's a little bit unfortunate that it's sort of petered out. But for me, when you speak about Dele Alli, he was definitely one of the best English talents breaking through in the Premier League in that time. I want to say around about, was it 2017, 2018 maybe. He really was a major part of that Tottenham team, and why there was made so much success. You know, him and Harry Kane, him and Heung-min Son, Dembele, who else was there at the time, Trippier, Eric Dyer, all these types of players. They had such a young squad, didn't they? And I particularly remember like one season when Leicester won the league, I'm pretty sure, because Tottenham came so close. I'm pretty sure they finished like 2nd or 3rd in the league or something. They came so close to doing so well and potentially winning the Premier League. You never would have thought that at the beginning of when Pochettino took over Spurs. Just me personally, I just never thought they would have came so close to winning the Premier League. That's just me. But, you know, when you speak about him as a player, he was so fantastic. He was so expressive with the ball. He was, you know, it felt like effortless when he was playing football, Dele Alli. It really did. And for me, it is a bit of a shame, like I mentioned a few times in this video, because, you know, yeah, once you know, Pochettino got sacked and Mourinho came in, he sort of gave a few home troops to Dele Alli, didn't he? And he was sort of trying to spur him on, trying to improve him, trying to motivate him, and for whatever reason, it just didn't work for the player. And he eventually, left Tottenham Hotspur after a few seasons, and I'm pretty sure he went to Everton, didn't he? And he didn't really pull up any trees either there, did he, Everton? And for whatever reason, he's just been on a downward spiral ever since, hasn't he, Dele Alli? He's just not been able to rejuvenate his form, and it's really unfortunate because I highly rated that player, honestly. Breaking through in the Premier League at that time, it was him, Paul Pogba, I want to say Kevin De Bruyne, obviously, Bruno Fernandes, all these types of players, I'm pretty sure. Or I don't know if maybe Bruno Fernandes came a little bit later in the league, I'm not too sure. But, you also had the likes of David Silva, you had Santi Cazorla, all these types of attacking midfielders. And he was definitely right up there, top 5 maybe, at least. Even when you think about what he's done at international level with England, at the Euros, at the World Cup, it was a massive part of that England team, wasn't it? Okay, yes. We had some highs and we had some lows at England. It wasn't all positive, but when it was going good for England, he was a major part of that England team, wasn't he? I remember especially that one tournament where Gareth Southgate came in, and he was a part of that five. Was it like 5-2-3 or something? I don't know what the formation was. Can't remember now, to be completely honest. But it was him and Lingard in the midfield, and for whatever reason, that seemed to click and it seemed to work, didn't it? Both of those midfielders, it was like a match made in heaven. Both of those midfielders, for whatever reason, in that England tournament. Okay, yes, we didn't win it by any stretch of imagination, and the men's team at least are still looking to achieve the highs of the game, but. It's I don't know how to feel when I speak about Dele Alli potentially retiring at age of 29. The age of 29 thing, it's way too early. Surely he's capable of still playing for like a championship side. I was thinking on the top of my head before we recorded this video, what about like a Coventry City? Because obviously you got the likes of Frank Lampard there, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure Frank Lampard had him at Everton, so would have seen what it was like at Everton. And I just don't know if he'll, make that move again for him at Coventry City. Who else is there, coming through the ranks in the Championship? Maybe like a Tom Cleverley at Plymouth. But if you're manager of Plymouth, they're such a hard-working team. Can you take a chance on a player who might not give you 100% in training, in the match days? So I don't know if maybe Plymouth again. It's a bit of a risky one. I'm just thinking at the age of 29, it's a bit rough, isn't it? You can't be ending your career. It's way too early to end your career, isn't it? There's got to be another move in there for Dele Alli, at least another. I don't know. Give it another 2 years at least, just to see if you're completely finished. Because obviously he's moved to Como now in the Serie A, in the Italian league, and Cesc Fabregas has sort of left him out of the pre-season plans, and he did sign an 18-month contract, right? So I think before he signed there, he did an interview and he had aspirations of getting to the World Cup in 2026. And, I was scouting him from afar, hoping, that would be the case. Because when Dele Alli is on form, we all know what he's capable of. He's a fantastic midfielder on his day. But when is his day? That is the main problem. It's just not enough, is it? He's good every 1 to 4 weeks, if you like, out of the Premier League season or out of a regular football season. He's very hit and miss, isn't he, Dele Alli? Don't get me wrong, when he was on form those 2 or 3 years, unbelievable player, unbelievable talent. He was a world-class potential back in the day, but we just haven't seen it now for I want to say 3 or 4 years since he left Tottenham Hotspur. And really, it was since Pochettino left, really, because I feel like that was probably the downfall of his career. I feel like those two sort of just had this fantastic connection, an unreal connection that couldn't be matched. And we've seen that from, other managers he's had in his career. It's not been the same relationship. They probably haven't understood the way Dele Alli works and all that sort of stuff. But it's just really unfortunate, like I've said many times in this video, that he's thinking about retiring at the age of 29, because I can't get my head around it. Football is such a short career, so why would you want to end early? But again, maybe these things have sort of been out of his control a little bit for whatever reason. He can't get his head around training. He can't, he sort of can't shift his personal problems and whatnot, and you can't really blaming, I suppose, in that sort of sense, because we'll never know what the true extent of what's happened and whatnot. But again, it's just unfortunate because back in the day at Tottenham, he wasn't a brilliant player. It is a mess because really, he should have at least, I want to say, another 3 or 4 years in the game, because you know, players these days, they're retiring older, aren't they? They're waiting until they're like 33, 34, 35 before they even consider retiring. So to do that at 29, it is really unfortunate because, you know, like I mentioned earlier, him being essentially trying to get back to the World Cup 2026, you know, having those high ambitions, it is what you sort of want. You want those high ambitions as a football player, don't you? You want to get back to the heights of the game. And the World Cup is probably the next best thing for Dele Alli, because if you're at Como, you're not going to be in a, you know, Champions League anytime soon, just because they've recently got promoted. But yeah, I think this is where I'm going to end the video, right, because I'm hoping, right, Dele Alli still has another 2 years left in the game, but it's looking very unlikely. But we have to wait and see anyways. Let's end off with some questions. Do you think it would be a crying shame if Dele Alli retires at the age of 29? Do you think he could go for another 2 or 3 years? Which team should take a gamble on Dele Alli? Do you think he can still do it in the top 5 European leagues? Can maybe a championship side come in for him? Who knows? But yeah, before that, as always, please like, comment, subscribe. It's very much appreciated and it goes a long way in helping me build a small community on my channel, okay? We've recently just hit 146 subscribers. If we can get 150 subscribers, I'll be absolutely mind blown, like I've said at the start of this video. But yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you guys for showing your support on this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you have a good day, and peace out.